The application of the shellac leaves the surface just a little bit rough. So before I apply top coats, I'm going to very lightly sand all the surfaces with 320 grit sterrated sandpaper. I'm working very lightly so I don't cut through the finish. Remember, it's very thin at this point. I'll remove all the dust when I'm done. Okay, now it's on to the top coats. I'm going to be using a product called General Finishes High Performance Polyurethane. It sprays really nicely and it has a UV inhibitor, which is going to make a difference on this cherry because it's going to be going into a very sunny room. I'm using a different gun here. I'm going to apply the finish a little bit thicker than I did in the shellac application, but not so thick that I get runs. It's very important that you not get runs when you're spraying that vertical surface. When I spray the top, I'll lay it flat. I'll start from the edge closest to me and just spray back and forth until I cover the entire top. Notice that I'm holding the gun as perpendicular to the surface as I can, and I'm holding the hose in my free hand just to keep it out of the way so it doesn't get dragged into the finish. After this first application of a clear top coat, I'll let it dry about 2 hours, then I'll apply a second coat. Okay, we've got 3 coats of finish total on everything, the top, the drawers, and the base. That's 1 coat of shellac and 2 coats of water-based finish. Now before I apply the 3rd coat and final coat of water-based finish, I want to smooth this surface. It may look okay, but if you run your fingers across it, it doesn't feel smooth. The reason is that you've got some little bits of dried finish in there, debris, it could be dust or whatever. So before you apply your last coat, you're going to scuff sand all the surfaces. And scuff sanding is exactly like it sounds. You're going to take a 1/4 sheet of sandpaper. This is 400 grit, and it's a sterrated sandpaper. It's made by Norton. It's a good quality grade. And you're going to fold it into thirds on itself to make a little pad. I'm going to sand all the flat surfaces with this piece of sandpaper. And anything that isn't flat, like these tops of these drawers and some of these very delicate, thinner surfaces, I'm going to use gray Scotch-Brite. On non-flat areas, like the top of this drawer side, I'm going to use gray Scotch-Brite to scuff sand. It's a cushioned abrasive, so it doesn't cut through that round over and other delicate areas that you might run into. After scuff sanding, I'll blow the rest of the debris off with a blowgun, or in this case, my spray gun. It's got enough air coming out of it to do the job. Once that's done, I'll take a tack rag. A tack rag is a piece of cheesecloth with some sticky substance on it to grab all the rest of the dirt, the debris, and the sanding grit. If you use a tack rag with water-based finishes, just make sure it's compatible. Now it's time for the final top coat. I'm going to do the base first, and I'm using the same gun, the same finish, and the same technique as before. Spray quickly so that you don't get drips. I'll do the top just like I did before, and I'm going to spray all 4 edges first. When the edges are done, I'll start with the edge that's closest to me. And once again, I'm going to hold that gun perpendicular with my free hand holding the hose out of the way. Working a back and forth motion, laying down a nice, full, wet coat. Work carefully, work slowly, and make this your best coat. Well, it's done. 4 days ago, I applied the last coat of finish, and the top is just beautiful. It's exactly what I want. Finish is nice and smooth. Figure of the bird's eye is great. I think the bird's eye, because we used a water-based finish, really contrasts nicely with this darker cherry. Only thing left to do is to take it home, put it in the house, and enjoy it.